They're the successors of the apostles. But one of the most courageous voices in the Catholic Church has just declared, without a hint of hesitation, that the German bishops will be remembered as a great disgrace. Bishop Athanasius Schneider, the auxiliary bishop of Astana in Kazakhstan and a man who endured the horrors of Soviet persecution, sat down with the German weekly Junge Freiheit on April 5, 2026. His message was a thunderbolt. The church in Germany has become, in his exact words, a cowardly collaborator of leftist ideology. Schneider is not a man given to hyperbole. He grew up under a regime that crucified Christianity. He knows what betrayal looks like, and he warns that future generations will read with shame the names of the bishops who, as cowardly collaborators, led all of this. The accusation is one of the most severe leveled by a Catholic bishop in decades, that Germany's ecclesiastical leaders have traded their divine mandate for cheap acceptance from the political mainstream. Who is Bishop Athanasius Schneider? He is a living witness to modern martyrdom. Raised in a German Catholic family exiled in Soviet Kyrgyzstan, he lived through the systematic destruction of faith under communism. The official state doctrine demanded silence. Those who disagreed were eliminated. Today, Schneider sees the same mechanisms at work in the West, not in gulags or show trials, but in a subtly disguised totalitarianism. The tools are different: social exclusion, cancellation, and the weaponization of woke culture. The objective is the same: to render the voice of Christ irrelevant. He recalls that the ideological left is now arbitrarily framed as the sole bearer of moral goodness, while any dissent is labeled an enemy to be crushed. This, he insists, is a plan to dissolve European identity and replace it with what he describes as a new woke culture and a predominantly Asian Muslim mixed population. For the faithful who watch their parishes embrace every novelty while abandoning their confessions, Schneider is not merely a commentator. He is a prophet. Schneider argues that the crisis is not merely religious, it is civilizational. He points out that Europe's very concept of freedom, its hospitals, its legal systems, and its universities were ultimately derived from Christianity. The left does not create new values, he says. It merely parasites upon 2,000 years of Christian charity while mocking its source. He calls for something radical, a new movement in Germany, in Europe, and perhaps even in America, one that can take hold of society and guide it to resist this destruction. This is not a call to arms in the secular sense. Schneider seems to be echoing something akin to the yellow vest movements he witnessed in France, a grassroots spiritual, cultural, and political uprising of ordinary people who refuse to watch their heritage be erased. Schneider offers a final word: hope. As a Christian, I always have hope, because that is the message Easter teaches us. The question for every Catholic watching is whether we will sit silently while the legacy of Christ is traded for the latest political fad, or whether we will join that quiet, countercultural resistance that this brave bishop has called into being.